Hey everybody! So all of these stay-at-home orders lasting way longer than anyone thought, it got me thinking about another topic, so here I am making another video. So let's talk about independence and what it means to be independent, because I think quarantine has shown a lot of people whether they are independent or not, or it has made them become independent. So I asked around to a lot of different people, a lot of different ages, because I wanted to get different opinions on this topic, because this isn't something that I can just give you my opinion and just assume that everyone has that same opinion, because that's not how this topic works. And I heard a lot of the same answers along the way, but there was a couple things that stood out to me. So I think independence can mean many things, from living alone, being able to financially survive on your own, or even just being comfortable in your own skin. So living alone. This is one that I heard a lot. And I can agree. If you're living alone, it also comes with being able to financially support yourself. And if you're not independent, when you move in by yourself, you're going to learn to be independent real quick. Because everything relies on you. Keeping running water, keeping the electricity on, cleaning, killing the spiders, hell, even keeping food in the fridge. All of that comes down to you, because if you don't pay the bills, or you don't kill the spiders, or you don't buy groceries, who does it affect? You. So in order for you to survive, not wither away to nothing because you have no food, in order to see at night in your house, you have to be independent. You have to pay those bills. You have to buy food. You have to do all of that. However, being able to live alone brings up another point about independence. It also means that you need to be confident, and be confident in the decisions that you make for yourself, such as the decision to live alone. Now, I know sometimes it's not a choice to live alone, but you need to be confident in your decisions, and it also means following your own path. For example, my whole life growing up, I wanted to be a nurse. My mom was a nurse, my best friend in high school was a nurse, her mom was a nurse, so I was surrounded by it. So I thought that's what I wanted. So I hit a few road bumps in college and ended up transferring to my dream school and got into the nursing program. Did 3 years of that before I changed my major. And everyone thinks I'm crazy because I changed my third year when I only had one more year to go. But that's the thing, is it's okay to outgrow the life you thought you always wanted. It's okay that I outgrew that idea that I always wanted to be a nurse, because now I'm in athletic training and I couldn't be happier. Do I wish that I'd known that sooner? Not really, because I met some great people along the way. But I needed to be confident in that decision to leave nursing to find this and not follow those paths that I've always followed or always thought that I wanted. And it's also confidence in following whatever path you think is best for you, not what someone else thinks is best for you. Let's say my mom wanted me to be a nurse. You have to throw that out the window. You have to want to follow your own path and do your own thing, because it's making you who you are. So confidence isn't saying, oh, I hope they like me. It's saying that you'll be okay if they don't. And confidence is one of the most attractive things that anyone can have. Not cocky, but confidence. Now, being confident and independent does not mean that you want to be alone or that you can't ask for help. I think it's quite the opposite, actually. So you can be alone, and you're okay being alone, and you can survive if you had to be alone, but that doesn't mean you want to be alone. And this is where relationships come in. This is something that is huge, 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 huge to me, is independence in a relationship. So you need to be a whole person when you get into a relationship. I used to think, back in high school, back in middle school, hell, even in probably my first couple years of college, I used to think that you needed someone to complete you. And it's the complete opposite of that. If you get into a relationship, it should just be to complement you. Interdependent relationships rarely are healthy and can sometimes end very badly. I know that sometimes people get scared, so they get into a relationship, which is also unhealthy. Sometimes people don't think that they can be alone, so they get into relationships, also unhealthy. And I do know that some people do get into relationships when they are mostly complete, and they use that relationship to complete themselves because they find a significant other that pushes them, challenges them, and helps them grow to become whole. You know, that's completely different than having someone else make you whole. If you have someone else to make you whole, you're reliant on them to make you whole. Whereas if you can find someone who can compliment you, push you, help you be the best whole person that you can be, that can help you become whole. If you rely too much on a significant other, it can be harmful because it allows you to be vulnerable. And if they were to leave you, what are you left with? You know, if you don't have things that are your own and do things on your own and you're not whole on your own, you're going to be left with a hole or a void or something that also will not be healthy. Which brings me to the point that your happiness is up to you and up to you alone. And I think that that's important to note because I know too often people say, oh no, my job makes me happy. Oh no, they make me happy. Oh no, painting makes me happy. Singing makes me happy. Anything. No, those things don't make you happy. Your happiness is up to you. You just enjoy those things. So, on the negative side of that, if you're unhappy with your job, your life, anything, that's also on you to figure out what's making you unhappy and changing that so that you're not unhappy. Because you can't just sit there and say, oh, I'm unhappy. I don't like my life. I don't like this. I don't like that. Okay? Are you doing anything to change that? Or are you just complaining that you're unhappy? I know that hits home to a lot of people, and they can sit there and say, oh, well, I just don't have the power to change it. I don't have the money to change it. I don't have the resources to change it. If you're unhappy and your happiness can change or it depends on that, you'll find a way. Your happiness is up to you and you alone. And I think that that's important to note and to work on if you're not happy. You and you alone are the only person who can work on that. No one else can fulfill that happiness for you. Sorry, they can't. And speaking of making yourself happy, and on that note, I think when you're independent, it takes knowing who you are. And it means knowing your strengths and weaknesses and taking those weaknesses and finding a way to learn from them, finding a way to make them into a strength. As much as that sounds like a job interview question, how can you turn your weaknesses into a strength? It's a real thing. You need to know what you're good at and what you're not good at in life. And if you have something, let's say you have something you enjoy that you're not good at, spend time being good at it. Find your weaknesses. If you say, oh, I'm bad at singing, okay, practice more. Oh, I'm bad at love, okay, work on turning that into a strength. If you say, I'm bad at drawing, I'm bad at tumbling, I know these are all very random things. I'm bad at all of these things. Find a way to turn those into a strength or to build off of those. And independence is also knowing who you are, but also keeping an open mind. Because that's just important. It's important to allow people to show you things. Allow yourself to get into relationships or friendships that bring out the best parts of you that you didn't know, or show you things that you'd never know you'd enjoy if you were closed-minded. Because, I've had friends along the way that have shown me things that I never would have done before. My whole life, I didn't want to get on boats. And I went with my best friend down to her parents' house that live on a lake. They had a boat. I didn't get a choice. She's like, oh, we're going out on the boat tomorrow. And I was like, well, I've always not liked boats, but I'm willing to try it. When in Rome, we're on a lake, let's try it. And now I love going on boats. Now I love the water, I love kayaking, I love all of that. But if I had been closed-minded and said, no, I don't like boating, I don't like being out on boats, even though I've never tried it, I wouldn't have got that experience, and I wouldn't enjoy the things that I enjoy now. So allow yourself to be open-minded, and even if something makes you uncomfortable, know that that's when you grow. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You just don't. You need to leave your hometown. You need to leave situations. You need to leave places when you get comfortable so that you can keep growing. Because it's important not to get comfortable in a setting. It's important to not get okay with a mundane life. You need to be uncomfortable sometimes. I'm pretty sure it was Will Smith that said, all of the best things in life are on the other side of fear. And I know some people are scared to leave their hometown. Some people are scared to leave their significant others. Some people are scared to transfer schools. You can't be scared. You just gotta go for it. You grow when you're uncomfortable, and it can help shape you to who you are. And it also is important to note that there is no age when you're going to be the exact person that you should be. Because you should always want to keep growing and should always want to keep getting better. You shouldn't get to 25, 30, 35. You shouldn't get there and say, okay, I'm pretty content with my life, so I'm pretty sure I know who I am. Got a husband, maybe, wife, kids, anything like that. I'm kind of good. Are you, though? Are you really okay with not trying new things without experiencing new things? Like, how can you be okay with just stopping your growth like that? And that's where, if you're in a relationship that doesn't want to grow, that's also where it becomes independent. You become independent and you learn to leave that relationship. You should only get into relationships or friendships or anything that help you to be the best you that you can be. Don't settle for somebody that doesn't want to grow. Friendship, relationship-wise, either one. Don't settle for that. Because you deserve to always keep growing. You deserve to always keep learning. That's big to me, is to always keep learning. I love to learn, and it seems like that because I feel like I've been in college forever, getting my master's degree. But never stop learning, never stop growing. Be uncomfortable. Leave places that don't help you grow. And yeah, I just think that it's very important to keep growing, to keep being independent, whether it's moving out on your own, it's transferring schools. When I transferred, I didn't know anybody at my dream school. Nobody. But I made friends, and they're some of my best friends now. I still have my best friends from my old school. I have best friends from when I transferred, and now I have best friends from my master's program. You meet people along the way. Don't be scared to move to a new town and make new friends. Don't be scared to start a new job and make new friends. Because those people are going to help you grow, and that's also going to work on your independence so that you don't rely on somebody else. So know this. Know that you're whole on your own. You're a whole, living, breathing human being. And allow yourself to be whatever you want. Allow yourself to do whatever you want. Whether it's get into a relationship, get a second college degree, get a first college degree. Hell, even getting a puppy. Or a cat. Allow yourself to do the things that you want to do. And let things and people compliment you without letting it change you completely. Allow people to aid in who you are, but don't let it change you. People can show you things that help you become a better you, but it shouldn't change you. You shouldn't go from one major drastic thing to another because of somebody else. So you shouldn't go from prim and proper to emo, or punk rock to country unless you want to. Don't let somebody else change you like that. Just let people compliment you. And also go out and explore. Get experiences, see what you like, see what you don't like. And don't be afraid to do that on your own. Don't be afraid to go do things on your own, to experience that growth and uncomfortable on your own. But also don't be afraid to take people with you. It's okay if you want to take a friend, a significant other, a family member, somebody. It's okay if you want to take somebody with you. That does not mean that you're not independent. It doesn't, especially if that person helps you be the best you, if they push you, compliment you, everything. If they do that, it's okay to take them with you. But don't take people that are going to weigh you down, because that's going to prevent you from enjoying the most that you can out of life and leaving and getting those experiences. So don't be afraid to do that alone, and don't be afraid to take somebody with you. And don't be afraid to change at any moment. You could wake up tomorrow, leave wherever you are, move across the country, and start a new life. You can. I know you're like, oh, well, I'm married, or oh, I have kids. You know, those are different circumstances. But kids in college, single people out of college, high schoolers that are just about to graduate, maybe. I feel ya. My graduation got moved too. But don't be afraid to just pick up and leave. That's such an exciting feeling to me, is being able to pick up all my stuff and just move to a new town where nobody knows my name. Like, you can make the image that you want. That's it. Like, you can figure out who you're going to be, and they don't know this life that you have wherever you are now. You know, I could move to a new town and create a whole image for myself where nobody knows what I was before that unless I tell them. Isn't that such a freeing feeling? That's how you know you're independent, is when those things don't scare you. Those things excite you. You know, getting those new experiences, that should excite you. That shouldn't scare you. Maybe it should scare you a little bit sometimes. But there should be a little excitement in there. So, yeah, I just think that independence is something that's so important. And in quarantine, I think you really figure out who is independent, who is not independent, because we're all quarantined at home by ourselves. So I think it really goes to show if you can survive on your own, and what it's like to survive on your own, and also what it's like to survive on the bare minimum of groceries, of all of that. So, as always, stay happy. Hopefully you're finding something fun to do in quarantine. You know, I talked about those home workouts last video. Hope you're finding some good shows on Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus, something. I know I've watched some great movies, so enjoying quarantine, and I hope that this is over soon. Bye, guys.